Birds, chilly out. How is everybody? I'm great. I had an unexpected night off. They made cuts on the floor tonight, so I had some extra time to just catch up on some errands. I took a quick frolic through the forest and did a little riding when I got home. I went out to the store tonight to get ingredients for my Thanksgiving casserole that I'm taking to my mom's. And what I make every year is just called vegetable casserole. I don't know. That's what we were told it was called. My ex-sister-in-law's mother used to make it. Her name's June, and it was like one of the best things ever. And so I started making it for our family. It's my younger brother's favorite thing, but basically the bottom layer, you like obviously grease a Pyrex dish with butter, and you fill the bottom layer with, I like to use 2 boxes of stovetop chicken flavored stuffing. So you make a layer of that. And then you put a layer of the California mixed frozen vegetables, and it's broccoli and cauliflower florets and sliced carrot. That's a layer. And then you top that with cream of mushroom soup mixed with a little bit of 2% milk. You mix that together and make it into like a creamy sauce, and then you like pour that over the top. And then the last layer is you melt like a stick of butter with like 8 ounces plus of Velveeta cheese. And you have to slowly melt it down in like a Pyrex mixing thing and make it into a liquid. And then you like pour that all over the top, and then you bake it at like, I don't know, usual casserole temperature for like 20 minutes covered and then 20 minutes not covered. And then it's the best thing ever. It's very indulgent. But yes, so we were here for our anchor message for the week. We did our energy forecast yesterday, and it was basically an overarching theme. And then it's like each reading kind of gets more specific as the week goes on. And so for me, it feels like Monday's anchor message sort of goes a little bit, it like begins the story, but it's like the whole story is like based on the theme. Like it's like it sets the theme for the week essentially. So it's like Sunday we do the forecast, and that's like the overall energy surrounding like the week. It's like the energetic weather, and then like Monday is like our lessons and our themes that we're working with specifically. From our perspective. It's like our influence on the situation versus the situation's influence on us, if that makes sense. We're spinning in circles. We're already lost in the labyrinth of thought. Okay, cool. So I have been loving using the archetypes, the wild unknown archetypes for our Monday combo. And I'm really loving this Dreaming Way Tarot, but we're starting with the archetypes. So we pulled the Self, which I feel like this came up just like recently also, which makes sense because following the lunar month of Scorpio, and I guess it was like also technically the solar month of Scorpio, we really died to the old self, to so many of the old programming, of the old patterns, of the old dynamics, of the old relationship dynamics, of the old assumptions, you know, of our old stories that just aren't true anymore, and our ways of being that we are just like, we're just not taking with us into this next chapter. And so during this period, it's been like this liminal space where people have been like dying and resurrecting. And I think it's like once we have this resurrection, it's like we feel it, something happens, and then we sort of go into this feeling of like almost feeling displaced, like it's like a void or a limbo, or like you woke up somewhere cold and dark and hey, I thought I was going to the Bahamas, like what's happening here? And that's okay. We've been reborn, but when you are born naked and cold, and I was dropped on a cold, dirty hospital floor. Welcome to the party, Beesh. Get ready, girl. So being born is a pretty rude awakening. It's never a very pleasant process. Babies come out screaming and wailing and crying, and they feel helpless and confused, and they're shitting all over themselves for the first few months of their life. So don't feel bad if you don't feel like you're a pro at your new life yet. The information that I was getting, it was like the way that it was being explained to me from whoever, from beyond, was that it's like we've jumped onto this up-leveled timeline where it looks like our whole life, everything looks the same, but we're at this new level where energetically there's so much more potential available to us if we've been doing the work, and we can start being present and conscious and showing up more and more and more as this higher version of ourself. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're talking about progress, but you know the template that you're going for. You have that vision of your greater self within you, that life that you know you have potential to lead. It's just that you have to start practicing being the person that it takes to get there. The person that can wake up and follow through with the routine required to do that. The person who loves and respects themselves enough and has strong enough boundaries with themselves and others that they can follow through and make good and be consistent because they know how to set up solid, secure foundations that are sustainable over time. So we're really getting in touch with that higher self. We're stepping into this new level, this new timeline, and with all of this new potential to be this greater version of ourselves, there's also this new opponent that's meeting us that has grown with us. And so this, along with all of this new potential and these new opportunities, comes new levels of challenge, new levels of difficulty. We're pushing up against a growth edge. These are growing pains because we're having to evolve under the discomfort and the pressure of being a little bit out of our depth, right? But that's the only way to learn to swim, is to get thrown into the water and just eventually, we know the strokes we have to take, but we have to start doing it and we have to get a feel for it, right? And then it's like once we get a feel for it, it's a part of us where it's embodied, right? And that becomes the new norm, the new base level. And so it would really behoove us this week, as we are really consciously tuning in and connecting to this higher self, to our, the higher self is the closest part of us that is deep, deep, deep inside all of the layers of ego shell and personality and jadedness and all the disappointments and all of the wins and the losses and all of that stuff that builds up over us over time. At our very core, we are this pure spark of divine, right? This pure essence of the unique combination that makes our unique energy personality, right, underneath this flesh bag. And then layers upon layers upon layers of experience over lifetimes and interactions with the other soul expressions have created all of these different facets of us and have seasoned us like a skillet over time. So it's also built up a lot of negativity and a lot of doubt and a lot of fear because we've been burned, we've been afraid, we've been stretched, we fought dragons, and we know it's not pleasant, It's like, oh, we got to get out in the cold again. We've been out in the cold. We know how it feels. So it takes courage, it takes grit, it takes wherewithal, it takes strength, it takes determination and persistence and the ability to stretch beyond one's comfort zone and get comfortable being uncomfortable. I like to make a practice of walking in the forest, and even when the weather is not ideal, I like to push myself to do it, unless it's just so muddy that there's just it's impossible to walk out there, which even still, in some cases, I've just put the galoshes on and pushed my way through it because it's a practice and you're pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone and you're conditioning yourself to be comfortable in discomfort, right? It's like a symbolic practice that demonstrates that you're strengthening your self-discipline, you're strengthening your willpower. And you're strengthening your threshold for discomfort that even doesn't have to do with weather or whatnot, right? It's like you're thickening your skin in a positive way. You're strengthening yourself. And so as we are, we're being guided by the higher self, and we need to really get in touch with our vision, right? Because as we are being birthed into this new cycle, into this new timeline, it's like we've been going over this vision all year, and we've been going for it. It may be for even longer, right? But it's always good to, like, now that we have become this person, this version of ourselves, really go get really in touch and really get vividly clear in your imagination about what you envision for yourself. What is the vision of your life? What is that purpose within you that's driving you to keep going? What's your big why? Like, why are you doing these things? What gives you a sense of meaning and a sense of purpose, right? And it's like a lot of us, it takes a while to find our purpose, right? But the thing is that it might not be just one thing, or it might not be like super specific. It might be something where, you just show up and you follow your curiosity, and you follow the things that light you up, and you bring a sense of purpose. And the quieter you get and the more often you connect with your higher self, with your creator self. Oh, that's what I was getting at, is that the higher self is connected without any like veil in between to the ultimate, like, I wouldn't say directly, because there's always like the veil, but it's closer to direct connection with the divine than than the ego shells allow our conscious personality, right? So the more you connect with your higher self, the more you connect with your creator, the more of a deeper sense of security that you will have. And so what we need to do is this week, get focused on connecting to your vision, reconnecting to that, connect with your why, stoke those fires within you. Your soul has like this desire, this yearning, that it's craving something, that it wants this specific, it feels like it has a mission, or like you feel compelled towards certain things and not to others, right? You feel like certain things light you up and others don't. Follow that sense of expansiveness, that passion, that drive that lights you up, that gives you life. Don't force yourself to do all this other stuff you don't care about. Other people like that stuff. That's what their purpose is. Be you. Be who you are. Follow who you are inside. But it's very important that you get a very vivid and clear vision of this in your heart and in your imagination and in your heart's eye and in your mind's eye, because you're going to want to hold that, and you want to maintain that desire. The desire is the magnetism. The desire is what brings and conjures forth form from the absolute. It pulls that which is not into being. It makes something from nothing. It pulls something from the unmanifest and makes it manifest. So the desire is what drives you to keep going. But it's also the thing, it's the desire is not only the gasoline that keeps you going and pushing you. The desire is also pulling that which you crave and desire towards you. And it's looking for whatever is going to have the greatest ease, that's going to come to you, that is in the most authentic vibrational alignment. And the universe is trying to hook you up with the best thing for you. The best thing that you can do is follow those hunches, tune in to what your combination of your emotions are telling you with what your discernment and your wisdom and discernment are telling you as well. Tune into that intuition and allow that desire to fuel you and motivate you, and really feed it, because the more you feed it, the more it becomes like jet fuel. And so once we get really clear on this vision, just realize that right now during this season, we're in the new beginning season. We're setting out on this journey. And this is actually, I think, is it tomorrow or Wednesday is the new moon? On the 23rd is the new moon of Sagittarius. And that is going to open up so much more expansion and enthusiasm and optimism and philosophy and all of those things. And so the new moon is a time to plant seeds. So Jupiter will help you expand your vision, expand your sense of what's possible for yourself. Don't limit yourself. Give yourself every reason to believe that anything that the Creator has put in your heart is possible for you, that it's already yours, that all you have to do is align yourself with the cosmic flow, and everything that you need and want will be delivered to make sure that you get this plan executed. But you have to plant seeds based in trust and certainty. If you plant seeds in a time where you are suffering from fear, lack, or doubt, then whatever you are planting will have chaos within it. So plant seeds of faith, of trust, of certainty. Plant seeds based on love, on inspiration, on passion, on, plant seeds based in determination and confidence and grit. Don't resign yourself to indecision, despair, like wishy-washiness. Don't be wishy-washy. It goes back to that desire. Hold that strong desire. But remember that whatever mood and vibration that you are in when you take action, it's like that will determine the flavor and quality of the seed you're planting. So make sure that you're planting seeds of abundance, planting seeds of blessing, of love, of peace, of joy, of goodness. Plant seeds that you want to see grow. Do not plant seeds of doubt. Do not plant seeds of lack. Do not plant seeds of fear. Do not plant seeds of negativity. And all the seeds that were planted in the past in you that make yourself have fear, lack, doubt, shame, guilt, uncertainty, then rip it up like weeds and toss it into the freaking compost, because it's going in, it's going to be worms food, and it's going to be fertilizer. Okay. That fertilizer is going to be grit and determination. You're going to alchemize all of those negative beliefs, and we are transmuting them to make us even more determined to be joyful, certain, self-mastered, eternal, meaning we are unchanging, perpetually filled with fulfillment and the light, and we are perpetually in a state of peace and calm and secure, and we are stable in that, and we can't be shaken. Followed by Nine of Pentacles. This talks about getting to a point where you are independent, where you are secure, where you are stable, where you're enjoying the fruits of your labor, and all the effort that you've put forth is starting to show that you've got something here, that you're going somewhere with it. It's starting to return value. It's just that you're not quite there yet, but everything's starting to come together, and you're feeling really hopeful. Just there's this character is usually, it's always a solitary character who's still looking for, there's still something that they're yearning for that they don't quite have yet, but they are enjoying a lot of success, and things are coming to fruition, and they can relax and take a minute to, just celebrate how far they've come and enjoy the independence they've built and the stability, which that is also coming from our practice of connecting to the self and becoming merged with this higher self, merging that deepest intrinsic part of us with the extrinsic part through the vehicle of through our psyche, through our mental state, through our emotional state, right? Okay, and then we have the Hermit. So they were sort of I like for them to look like a little cartoon, little pictures. It actually I'll try to show them all together I'll post my photo, but as a grouping, these cards made the coolest little comic book looking picture story. Okay, so then we have the Hermit. The Hermit is like that solitary time we have been taking for ourselves in self-discovery, reaching for higher states of consciousness. We've already gone ahead of so many, right? So we've gotten, the hermit goes up the mountain first, gets the wisdom, gets the knowledge, gets the consciousness and the revelation, and then, which is the lantern, and then brings that back down to gather the others to bring them up. So let yourself, like, it's going to be a busy week because it's the holidays if you're in the US. Like, you're going to be dealing with a lot of family and stuff right now, but at least try to give yourself some concentrated moments of solitude where you can have that reflection to get in touch with your vision. And then take all of the revelation and the insight and all the light that you've been gathering lately and just put that into motivation, the motivation you need to move on to things that are deeply meaningful to you in your life, and to start really putting your focus and energy and your resources and your time into the things that give you the deepest sense of fulfillment, and really just cut out the rest. But you're moving on to a life that is rich and fulfilling, and, contains so much more dimension, and offers like a deeper sense of purpose for you and a deeper meaning. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily changing careers, although you could be, or it may be that you are, you've taken on a new subject of study, whatever it is. Maybe you've decided to take a painting class, or you've always wanted to start, martial arts or dancing. Or you have, a desire to just start getting really into spirituality, or just self-discovery or therapy, or whatever it is. Maybe there's a service that you want to start doing, or a venture that you want to get involved with that helps others, or that does something to give back to the world. Whatever it is that's brewing within you, like, take heart and keep nurturing that with enthusiasm and positive expectation, okay? Because I really think that, like, the universe is urging us strongly in this direction. It's not just saying, like, it would be cool if you did and we'll support you. It's like, this is the challenge. For it to seem as bleak as possible and like there's no hope or shot in hell, and still you try anyway to do your best and give, even when there's no sign that it's going to be returned. That is phase 3 in the creation process. It's like when the light is completely concealed and you feel the lack. When you have this active desire for the light, you're like, okay, I'll do whatever it takes. I will overcome myself. I will push myself outside of my comfort zone if that's what it takes. But I will do what is uncomfortable to me and make the sacrifice so that I can actually get the ultimate fulfillment of this vision that drives me, right? Because it has purpose for me, and it is a purpose for me, right? All right, you guys. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your night. I am going to certainly enjoy mine. I've got some fun things planned. I've got new salts, so I'm going to take a bath, and I might do some dancing because I've already cooked for the week. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see what else. All right, y'all. Ciao.